Sabah khair.
Sabah al khair.
I will mute myself and just sit quietly, but I just wanted to say good morning, Zakir, and
Thank you
Ramadan
so much,
Mubarak.
Cheryl. Thank you.
Okay.
We will wait for some time if there are other parents who would like to join. Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu nusalli ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. I welcome all of you to the ACE conference organized by James Wellington Academy Al Khail, and this is the second time we are organizing for parents of WEC. On this occasion, I'm going to talk to you about Islamic teaching and learning, and most specifically, how to provide opportunities for students to apply Islamic values and principles to real life situations. When we deal with the topic of Islamic education and real life context, it becomes very clear for us that Islamic is all about real life application. The component of Islamic is knowledge, understanding, and application. But the most important thing in this is how our students are applying those knowledge and understanding to the real life. I would like to share with you the story of Prophet Muhammad SAW with one of his companions. A Bedouin came to Prophet Muhammad SAW and he asked him a question. He asked him, Mata as-sa'a, O Prophet of Allah, can you tell me when will the day of judgment be? Prophet Muhammad SAW, instead of straightforward answering his question, he questioned him back, Maza a'adatta laha? What have you prepared for the day of judgment? He very wisely shifted his mind from knowledge and understanding to the application. Okay, of course you need to know when is the day of judgment, but have you prepared for it? Have you applied those things in your real life which are necessary for you to be successful at the day of judgment? In our Islamic lessons, when we teach students, we focus on real life application. Initially, at the beginning, we ask students, you can see here, what good things you have done at home recently. Like students are at home now due to lockdown. We first ask them, tell us what did you do at home, good things you are proud of. So students respond back, I help my mom in cooking, I help my dad, I help my siblings in completing his or her homework. And then we appreciate their effort. So when we talk about Islam, it's 5 pillars of Islam. Since we have limited period of time, we will discuss today how can we motivate our students or children to apply those 5 pillars of Islam to real life situation. What is the role of a teacher and parent? We must understand that as a parent or as a teacher, we need to inspire our students to love Islam. That component of love has to be there in their life. Usually when we talk to our kids, and if they do something wrong at home, we usually scare them, we frighten them. Oh, don't do this, you will go to the hellfire. You will be punished by Allah, and it's very bad. Instead of immediately saying that, why can't we shift our students' knowledge and their concept to the love? Like, why can't we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like this? If you want Allah or Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam love you, it's better for you to do this. Because it's the very essence of Islam is love, mercifulness, kindness. There's the reason every chapter in Quran starts with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. So that kindness and merciful has to be there in our children. And moving forward, we need to inspire our students to love Islam through emotional connection between child and Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companions, and the Quran. If we are able to establish this connection in our students, I think we will be successful teachers and successful parents. The value of love. If we look at the value of love, it's an attribute of Allah. It's a component of the human soul. It's a part of Iman. It brings people closer to Allah and it unites the people. And that's the value of love. And at the same time, we need to make our students aware of true love. Love is not only something which is said by your tongue, merely some words. No, if you love Allah, if you love the Prophet Muhammad, you need to be obedient to them. You need to be obedient to the Prophet's instructions, his commands, Allah's rulings, and you need to sacrifice your wealth, your time for the sake of Allah. And you need to develop your closeness to God. Your attachment has to be strong with Prophet Muhammad SAW and with Allah. And you need to develop that sincerity and faithfulness. Whatever we do, even at home, we might tell our children, you're praying at home, but your whole intention should be to please Allah, not please the parents. When we look at the 5 pillars of Islam, I'll take one by one. For example, for the prayer, how can we give opportunity for students to pray at home? So here you will find, first, we need to inspire them for prayer. We need to motivate them, remind them, get together for prayer, let them lead in the prayer, and praise them once they finish their prayer. Due to lockdown, the entire family is together, and this is tremendous opportunity for our kids to practice this at home. Sometimes we underestimate our students' ability. We should not. Give them the opportunity to lead in Taraweeh, for example. After Isha, we pray 8 rakat Taraweeh, sometimes 20 rakat Taraweeh. So let children lead in the Taraweeh. If they don't know many surahs, no problem. If they know simple 5 to 6 surahs, that's enough. We will give them opportunity to lead in 2 rakat and 4 rakat, and from there the dad or any other adult can take it over. And then sharing rules of prayer with them. Let them watch the video how to pray. Women also to be part of congregational prayer. Sometimes at home, uh, it happens that only the male, they are part of the congregational prayer, and daughters and women, they are left out. It should not be the case. Every member of the family should be part of this prayer, and then motivate our kids to refer to the Islamic teacher if they need more clarification, if they don't know what is a certain ruling in terms of, if they forget anything, if they add anything in the components of prayer, what should they do. After prayer, it's Ramadan and fasting. When we fast in the month of Ramadan, we need to talk to our kids about reason of fasting. It should not be the case we are only having suhoor and iftar and celebrating our fasting. Rather than, we need to ask students, what is the reason we are fasting? 14, 15 hours, you are not having anything, no food, no drink. And it's not only for 5 to 6 days, it's for entire month, 29 to 30 days. What could be the reason? And what are the benefits of fasting? We need to ask our kids, do you know the benefit of fasting in terms of spiritual benefit, social benefit, medical benefit, and psychological benefit? What do you get out of this fasting? And then what is the reward? And at the end, we need to take our children to Allah. What Allah will reward you if you fast? There will be a separate door at the heaven. From there, the fasting people will enter to the paradise. And then how does that fasting impact our life? This is most important question we need to ask our kids. You are fasting, what impact you want to see? Like, you would need to be totally different person after Ramadan. You need to be avoiding all those bad habits which you might have been doing before. You should not mock anyone, you should not insult anyone, you should not break up your relationship with anyone. You have to maintain the good relationship with everyone. And in terms of tips for fasting, we can have a Ramadan schedule, involve students in preparing iftar menu, or dua with family before iftar. Usually we in Muslim families have iftar together, but sometimes we forget to make dua together. Involve students. Sometimes let the child lead in dua. Tell the child, he is in year 5 and 6, no problem. Tell him, ask Allah whatever you want to ask, and we will say Amin with you. And then we can give them opportunity to listen to brief Ramadan lectures available in Dubai and UAE, in other parts of the world. They can go to the YouTube and watch this. And our kids can maintain my Ramadan diary, the small Ramadan diary, where he will jot down whatever he has done in each day of Ramadan. I would like to share with you the Ramzan schedule, the simple one, which we Islamic teachers have shared with kids. Yeah, if you look at here, this is schedule for 1 to 15 days. So first fasting, then child will plan how many days he is going to fast, and then obligatory prayers, how many obligatory prayers, because there are kids who are not praying all 5 times a day, and this is the first time they are going to start, so they will set their plan. At the same time, those kids who have already uh, on track, who are on track to for obligatory prayers, they will plan for sunnah prayer, and then voluntary prayer. Then they plan for Quran recitation, memorization, understanding the Quran. For example, how much portion of Quran they would like to recite, and how much of it they would like to memorize, and then how much portion of it they would like to understand. And this schedule doesn't stop there, it goes further, like act of goodness with parents. What act of goodness would you like to do with your parents? Then charity and zakah. Act of goodness, maintaining good relations with family, relatives, making dua for your family, friends, relatives, Muslim community, and entire humanity, and asking forgiveness from Allah. So this could be a great way for us to share with our students. I would like to share with you this slide where for year 6 we have told them to do in the beginning of Ramadan, introduction of Ramadan, verse from Quran about Ramadan, hadith of Prophet Muhammad SAW about fasting. Why do I love Ramadan? How would I spend my days in this Ramadan? How fasting helps me to become closer to Allah. And we give students the opportunity to choose whichever way they want to present. For example, someone is good in writing, he will write an article, and they, mashallah, they have written. And someone is good in art, he will design a poster about Ramadan. And someone is good in digital technology, he will make a movie about Ramadan. And someone is good speaker, he will uh, prepare a speech about Ramadan. And we found many kids, mashallah, getting motivated and presenting their outcome of Ramadan activity in different ways. And also we have given the opportunity for students to undertake the Ramadan challenge, 30 days Ramadan challenge. First day, second day, third day, what they need to do. For example, design a Ramadan poster, memorize the dua for breaking the fast. Day 3, read at least one page of the Quran, and so on. If you look at, each day has one challenge. So we have discuss this with students until year 8. We send the mails to the parent saying that please motivate your kids to undertake this challenge, and we will share their good ideas, their learning, and their piece of work with wider community in GEMS network. Okay, after that, this opportunity to read Quran. And this is something easy for us to do if we understand. Quran, when it comes to Quran, we tell our kids just to read anything, whatever he wants, and close Quran, enough. But we need to be certain that Quran has 4 components: reading, memorizing, understanding, and living by it. So in this, the memorization part is a little difficult because it depends on students' memory power. Every child is not at same level. So we can motivate them to memorize 1 ayah or 2 ayahs or 3 ayahs rather than telling them to memorize half the page. And then at the same time, we can motivate our kids to understand certain portion of that Quran. Like, what did you understand by this surah? Okay, and then live by it. after that, how would you apply this surah in your real life? Whatever Allah said, how would you do it? For example, in Surah Hujurat, if child is reading about the prohibition about not mocking at anyone, not insulting anyone, not backbiting, not calling anyone by nickname. If child is reading that surah, he will note down, okay, these are the things which I understood Allah has commanded me not to do it. This would be great way for them to apply in the real life. And the tip for this is 5 times a week we can tell children to do this rather than all 7 days. Give them the gap. Sunday, then Monday, no need, then Tuesday, Wednesday, and 10 to 15 minutes a day. Usually, as a parent, when we plan anything, sometimes we are so enthusiastic, we tell the child to do it for 1 hour and 2 hours. Okay, the child does it, but only for 1 day or 2 days, because he has so many other things in his plate to do and complete, and that doesn't work for long term. Rather than we need to tell our children, okay, it's 10 to 15 minutes. So the child will develop that interest in him and he thinks, okay, this is doable for me, I can do it. And after that, once he's motivated, he himself will start doing more than what we ask him to do. And then selected surahs to be done in terms of reading Quran, then stories from Quran. This is very important and children like it. As you know, students tend to listen to the stories. So we can select some stories from Quran, Prophet Sulaiman's story, Prophet Dawood's story, the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, and so on. And also benefits of Quran recitation. We need to always shift our students' mind to the heaven, to the paradise, to the reward, because reward is something which motivates people, which motivates kids. We know as a teacher, if we tell the children, if you do this, you will get house point. The children start doing it. Same way Allah has mentioned in Quran in several places that for those people who do this, we will take them to the heaven. They will have the Jannah, the gardens. We need to have descriptions of paradise for kids rather than asking them, telling them always about the hellfire. Okay, another pillar of Islam is Zakah, for example. Zakah is, as we know, the Zakah is compulsory only for those who have 85 grams of gold or money equivalent to it. They need to pay the Zakah. So when, as a parent, we pay the Zakah, we need to involve our students in calculation of Zakah. For example, we can say, okay, there is this much money. How can I calculate the Zakah? Let child research. Let child get back to the Islamic teacher and ask. And then tell them to obtain information about 8 categories of people who receive Zakah. I'm sharing an example with you here. In secondary, we have mentioned to the students, like, at the current situation, WHO requested its members to present solution as how to help COVID-19 affected people in the world. And we asked them, your task is to prove that Zakah is the right solution by making research and writing a letter to the WHO to suggest a solution. I was so happy to know that many kids, mashallah, they done so well. You can see one of the example here. One of the kids, she calculated the wealth of 5 richest people in the world. And since you need to pay 2.5% of Zakah, she calculated how much it would be, 2.5%. And then if those rich people give that much money, how will that affect, how will that impact? So 6.6 million unemployed families will get relief from this Zakah project. Okay, the next thing, the seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As a Muslim, we always refer back to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is everything for us. He is the one who was sent as a guide to entire humanity. So we need to share with our students he as a role model, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, simplicity, his kindness and mercifulness, his attachment with Allah, his sense of gratitude, his sense of responsibility, his sacrifices for humanity. These all the things we need to share with the kids. And some tips you can see here, the stories from the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, stories of Prophet's companions. And you can play Kahoot or quiz with about the seerah with students. Like every child from I think from year 4 to year 12, they know how to play and create Kahoot. You can ask one of your family members to create a Kahoot about the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was in Makkah, 10 questions, and all other family members will take part in that quiz. And whoever wins, he will get some reward, 10 dirhams, 20 dirhams, or 50 dirhams, whatever it is. And Umrah trip, for example, we can give opportunities for them to perform Umrah, making short movies about the experience of Umrah, or designing a poster about Umrah trip and sharing their experiences with relatives and colleagues. Because Hajj may not be obligatory on them, but of course we can take them for Umrah trip to feel how it looks like going to Kaaba and being with thousands of people around the Kaaba and fulfilling the rituals of Umrah. And this is something which I thought I shared with you. We can have at home the Islamic corner in bookshelf. If we have already bookshelf, we can have someone who is library in charge, who will keep the material organized. Digital resources would be there, and our kids can use the bulletin boards where they can put up something, my favorite story, my favorite book, or any piece of work which they've done at home and his or her teacher was proud of him. They can put up and stick it there. I think this is what I wanted to share with you. If there is any question, I would be very happy to answer that question. Mr. Aqil, do you have any question?
I think it's very good that you're sharing this, especially in the month of Ramadan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, please go ahead.
There's no question. I think it's very good that whatever you shared is the learning.
I can see Aqil here. If you want to ask any question, you are most welcome.
No, there's no questions.
Okay.
No questions. Just thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for joining this session. May Allah bless you and reward you. Ramadan Kareem.
Thank you.